Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do what is probably one of the most long awaited videos of the past year. Do we want to call it that? I don't know, I feel like it has been very highly requested. Today we are doing my hair, my everything about my hair video. That is all I can think to call it. There are lots of different, it's not just my routine of like products. I'm going to be talking about everything because I've had so many questions on all aspects of my hair, from the hair transformation that I undertook earlier in the year right down to general product styling. How do you do this, how do you do that? So I thought today I would just go through all of it in a very hopefully speedy fashion. Let's move you that way a little bit. There we go, lovely. I have a list of things to go through because I'm not very good at remembering everything. My brain is just very busy. 72 tabs open, none of them are working, and no one knows where the music is coming from. It's basically sums up my brain. Fortunately, I have made a list. So this video is going to go into my hair history a little bit, not like super hair history. If you want to see a video on that and like how my hair has been throughout my life, let me know because that would be fun. But my recent hair history and touching on my experience of going from brunette to blonde, but there is a full vlog on that if you want to go and watch it. I will link it in the info box. Sorry, people are trying to distract me. Damn it! Shh. Literally my life's biggest distraction. My experience with tape-in extensions, we're also going to talk about that and all of the information around that. I am still waiting on a few bits of info on like my colour and then what tapes I use and the colour for the tapes I use. I know a little bit but not everything, so if I can get any more information I will try and put it in the info box. And then also going to go through product recommendations, styling a little bit, like styling tools, stuff like that. Without further ado, because I feel like that was a 5-minute intro, let's get on with it. So a little bit of hair history. My hair type is basically kind of lots of very fine hair. It's a little bit coarse. It has a natural like beachy texture to it. Like I don't need a lot of texturizing spray for my hair to get very dry and unmanageable. Lots of my friends, it will take a half a can of texturizing spray to get to the level of texture that my hair naturally has anyway. Because of that, it holds a style very well, and I think, if I'm correct, it also makes my hair, because it is quite fine, it makes it quite porous to dye and things like that. So that's very important to remember for later on. I think that is why my hair is quite porous. There might be some hairdressers that want to correct me. By the way, if I am horrifically wrong about any information in this video, number one, I'm very sorry, but I am not an expert at hair yet, although I would like to be. Number two, if I'm very incorrect, please just send my video to Brad Mondo, because I'm his biggest fan, and if he did a react video to me, I'd die of happiness. But anyway, so my hair is quite dry, very porous, very easy to style. I very much like my hair type. I used to hate it when I was a child because obviously it was curly, and I grew up in the 90s where straight hair was the thing, but now I love it because I can go either way. I can have my hair curled or I can have it straight, and it generally really sticks. So if I'm having my hair curled and I'm doing it like up the top or touching any of my natural hair, I can expect it to stick around for a very long time, and I wouldn't expect to be able to have it straight again until I wash it. My natural colour is pretty much my root right now, which I don't really want to get too close to you guys because that's just a bit weird, but yeah, that is my root colour. It is coming through quite strong now, which I'm very happy about because I'm trying to kind of just kind of grow my hair into a nice browny blondie balayage type thing, and I just want to have the healthiest hair that I can after having bleached the crap out of it. So just trying to be a little more gentle to my hair. We're not putting bleach on it anymore, we're just kind of letting things develop and keeping the tapes in, because the condition of my hair underneath all of the tape-in extensions is a little bit ropey, I'm not gonna lie. So my hair has, as you would expect after bleaching it so much. Please watch the video if you kind of have no idea what I'm talking about. But basically I went from brunettes to blonde in 2 sittings. My hair didn't fall out, thank God, but it definitely is more damaged than it was before, especially the bits of hair that still had blonde in it. So like my kind of ends still had very old blonde from when I was blonde, dark dye from when I was dark, and then it's obviously been bleached again. Those bits of hair definitely took the biggest hit. Basically every time I've had the tapes out and reinstalled, we have been cutting it quite a bit, so my hair hasn't really changed in length trying to find my real hair is very, very difficult, but it's basically about this length underneath all of the hair. I'll try and find a picture of me without the tapes in, so you can kind of get an idea of the length and the condition of my hair without it, but it is much more dry, much more fine, because lots of bits have just obviously broken off, and that's all fine. The only area that I've really found to have taken a ton of a hit is the top parts of my hair, where I put my hair into a ponytail here, are just like very, very, very fine. So with that in mind, I am just being very, very careful of my roots at the top of my hair, and I'm using lots of silk scrunchies and stuff like that. I'll talk about that later on, but I'm being very, very careful over kind of the top bits of my hair because of that, because I don't want to damage them too much more going forward. And I do wear a lot of ponytails. I wear my ponytail extensions, or I did before I had all of this. It does put a lot of pressure on your head, so my hair is definitely, I would describe it as damaged. Going from brunette to blonde in 2 sittings isn't something I would recommend unless absolutely essential. For me it was, where, like I said, we've been from blonde to brown and had lots of different browns put on my hair. I went to see another hairdresser who kind of like put a pre-colour on it, and that kind of really fucked me over, if I'm honest. And then we had to kind of undo all of that by bleaching my hair and really just strip all of the pigment out of it. That is the only reason that I did it. I still would like to be like a darker, at least like my natural colour brown. I don't think I'd go as dark as I did ever again, but I would kind of like to go back brown. But it wasn't really possible to maintain that with all of those different like colour pigments stuck in my hair. Like, it was an actual mess. So that's a little catch up. I'm sorry if that was a bit long, but I really did want to talk about how my hair actually is underneath what you guys see, because on the outset I've got tapes in. My hair looks very, very healthy. It really looks like my hair very easily survived the brunette to blonde transition, but in reality it is definitely damaged and isn't something that I would recommend unless it's absolutely essential for you. So as you will have seen if you watched the vlog, after all of that I had the tape and extensions put in. I had these when I was dark as well, but I had them reinstalled in obviously a blonde colour back in about April. Yeah, April, wow. Time flies. I have my tapes put in at Simon Webster Hair by my hairdresser LORA GRIFFY, who is amazing, and I would highly recommend her if you're looking to have hair extensions put in. These are tape-in extensions. They're Zen hair extensions, and these are currently the 22-inch hair extensions. Previously I had the 18-inch put in, and we usually like do 18-inch and then like give it a tiny trim, and before I've done 22-inch and had like a lot chopped off but like cut and styled. This time we literally have just like layered it in, and that's about it. Price wise it is very, very expensive, so I pay Laura her hourly rate, and then I also pay for the hair. There's no like charge, like surcharge on the hair or anything like that. I literally pay the hair and there's not like extra on top, and then I pay Laura her hourly rate. We use Zen hair at the moment, which is a little bit cheaper than I can't remember what the other extensions that she uses are called, but they are slightly finer, and the quality is a little bit better, but honestly I don't really notice it too much, if I'm honest. I'd rather not pay so much because it is already a lot of money as it is. So that's the first thing that I would definitely take into account when you're looking to have tape and extensions. For me, I love it because I don't have to take them in and out every single day, and they definitely last better than clip-in extensions. I was buying clip-in extensions last year very, very, very frequently, and it was definitely just like pulling on my hair too much because they were so heavy. So for that reason, like, they are very, very light. I like having them in because I don't have to take them in and out, and I do find the tapes also protect my kind of root hair. So my real hair is kind of like sandwiched between the two kind of like tape pieces, and it means when I'm straightening the root I'm not actually putting like direct heat on my hair. It's just kind of like the hair extension around it. I'm just gonna sit like this for a bit. So that's that. The process from start to finish can be quite time consuming. To begin with, like when you're having a fresh set put in and you have no extensions in already, it's a much quicker process. So it's just literally a case of installing the hair extensions. However, like the next time I go in, I will have to have them all taken out, which involves putting like a solution over kind of like your root and the tape, and that solution makes it easy for Laura to remove my hair extensions. We then wash them normally overnight, and then I'll go back and have them reinstalled. So the reinstallation is like a real long process. I could have them out for kind of like a week or a month if I wanted to give my hair like a bit of a breather. I don't really like to. I just like the ease of having very long hair. I actually find long hair so much easier than having short hair. Lots of people are like, oh my gosh, you should have a bob. I'm like, I've been there, I've done that, it wasn't easier. I think for some people it's definitely easier, but for my hair type it's really not. With the reinstallation, I would say that I have that done every kind of like 6 to 8 weeks. I can generally eke quite a while out of my hair extensions before I find I have to go back. And when I say reinstalled, your hair basically grows out, or sometimes the tapes can just like move down a little bit, and you kind of need to have the base of the hair extension moved back up to your root, just so it's not putting so much strain on the root of your actual hair. Especially if you've got like 22-inch tapes in, it can be quite heavy. I currently have like a really full head. I think there is only one, there's like half a head, full head, and then there's like glam full head or something like that. So you can go up a notch from this. I do find that my hair grows quite quickly, but I think because of the way I style my hair, it's not, I don't find it too difficult to cope when the extensions are kind of growing out a little bit. The one thing I would say is the longer your hair is, the more you're going to need to go back in and have the tapes put back up, because you're going to really feel that weight on your root, and it's not really ideal in terms of like caring for your actual own hair. In terms of how long the hair lasts, I had my first blonde set of hair put in April, and I just had it taken out a couple of weeks back now. So I went from April till August with the same set of hair, and then went for a new set of Zen hair extensions. Before I had the 18-inch, and this time I had the 22-inch put back in. Future me cutting in. Slight side note, I forgot to say that my hair extensions at the moment are two-toned. They have always been two-toned in some capacity. So my first set of hair extensions, you can have them rooted, so part of the set was rooted. So you order like, I think my hairdresser orders like 3 sets of tape-ins, and 2 of them were dark rooted, I believe. So they kind of like had a dark root like this, and then went into blonde, and then we have one set that were just like white all the way through, and we blend them together. This time around we have gone for like a brown and a blonde mix. Neither of them are rooted, so it does mean that when I put my hair up, this one in particular I think is the only one that kind of shines through as being like obvious, but the rest of my hair actually works really well when I pull my hair up. Where possible, we tend to try and put a darker tape underneath and then a lighter one on top, so that when I pull my hair up it's not so noticeable. This time around I've got like a kind of what we call like a mushroomy brown, and then a very kind of like creamy blonde, and that's because I'm slowly going to transition to a slightly darker blonde. As we get into winter, I will add in an extra set of the darker one. So at the moment we have the darker mushroomy colour, 1 set of that, and then 2 sets of blonde, and over the winter that will switch, so we'll have 2 sets of the brown and then 1 set of the blonde. I had the 22-inch before when I had my dark extensions. I just went full throttle at it for the first time because I wanted to know what it was like, and I did find it really hard to cope with the 22-inch back then. Now I'm very used to hair extensions and how to work with them, and I'm not finding it difficult at all. So I would say for the first time, if you're going especially from shorter hair, I would say to go for a shorter hair extension length, just because it is like a shock to begin with. And I did in my first set of hair extensions, I had a slider. I find it more common with 22-inch hair extensions for you to have one that kind of like will just slide a little bit, and it does, you can feel when one is sliding because it kind of puts a bit of a strain on the bit of hair that hasn't slid. For anyone that finds that this happens to them when they have tape-in extensions, I just put a little bit of oil, or I think you can use like an alcoholic solution, basically any alcohol, over the kind of like root of your tape, and then it will just slide out. You do have to just kind of like massage it for a bit, and then it will like just start to pull right out. That is the reason that they say don't put like conditioner up here when you've got tape extensions, because that is kind of like an oilier substance and it will cause your extensions to slide. So that is definitely something to keep in mind if you're interested in taping extensions. That can happen. Hair's not falling out or anything like that, because that was the first thing I thought when it first happened to me. It's just you've got a slider, and it just needs to be taken out, and just be very careful with it when it is kind of like in that hanging process, because you don't want to like pull your actual hair out. In terms of like the brand of hair extension, I'm not like particularly in love with Zen hair extensions. They're just the cheaper of the ones that my hairdresser Laura does, but I'm actually interested in looking into a couple of other hair extension providers. So I'm kind of gonna, don't like go and get Zen tape-in extensions just because I have them, because I think I'm interested in a change. So yeah, just in terms of the brand, I don't pick them because they're necessarily like the best out there. I just want to be fully like transparent about that. And in terms of, this is kind of like the best bit, in terms of hair maintenance and things like that, I'm going to talk you through some stuff right now. So when I go and get my tape-in extensions, that's really hard to say, reinstalled, we'll take the extensions out, we cleanse my hair. If I want any highlights, that is when we will put them in, and then we will use a toner. Laura uses a L'Oreal one, I believe, and it's really, really great. It gives me like an ashy brown tint to my roots, and I really love that. I really do think that having your hair toned is such an important part of being blonde. I just find it's the one thing that stops my hair looking too yellow. My hair is naturally very warm underneath, so it really does have a tendency to go very yellow. So toning for me is super important. But between my hair visits, because obviously it's quite pricey to go and have your hair toned over and over and over again, and it's very time consuming as well. I like to use a very specific shampoo that gives me the kind of look that Laura's toner does, and that is this shampoo and conditioner. These are the Bleach London Smoky shampoo and conditioner. This, if you just use it, like say your hair is like mine or it's white, if you just use this like straight on your hair, it's gonna go like a little bit blue, I'm not gonna lie. So I use very, very small amounts of this on my hair. Even this shampoo now, my hair is like a little bit warmer now, so I don't need to use it all the time. But when my hair was like a whiter blonde, my hair up here would go very, very yellow. And what I would do is either use this just at the roots when I was shampooing. However, I did find that if I used a bit too much or was a bit over kind of like generous with it, I would get little bits that are kind of like run down here and would go a little bit too ashy, so feel a little bit bluey kind of in its tone. So what I tend to do is just like use a tiny amount of this with some water on my hands, and just like 10 minutes before I'm about to get in the shower and actually wash my hair, I literally just do this section here that goes yellow, and then this bit here, I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera because I'm under studio lights, but in natural daylight this one strand of hair goes really, really yellow. It's so weird, but that's the most yellowy part of my hair just there. And I'll just literally just coat that bit, leave it on for literally a couple of minutes, and then get in the shower and wash it out. I find that helps to keep my roots really nice and like ashy. It works better, I would say, on my natural hair because my natural hair is actually darker than the extensions. The extensions just kind of like blend and make everything look a lot lighter than it actually is. The one thing I would say with this is it works so much better if you want ashy hair than purple shampoo. Purple shampoo will make it very white, whereas this kind of makes it like a dirtier blonde, and I really love that. I also used to really enjoy using this conditioner, which you can see that is like the colour of it. So it's like a darker purple than your normal purple conditioner would be. Again, that helps to keep it looking really smoky. Right now I don't have a smoky blonde as such, so I'm just literally using the shampoo on my roots just to like tame any yellowness and kind of like keep it all in keeping with my roots, which are quite an ashy like mid brown. So in terms of keeping my hair toned how I like it, those are the two products that I have been using. But on a daily basis, I have been using these, which are from IGK. It's the Bad and Bougie Almond Oil Deep Repair Shampoo and Conditioner. I've just been using these because they're really hydrating, they smell amazing, but they just feel really moisturising on my hair, and I find my hair behaves very, very well when I use this shampoo and conditioner. I'm really, really into it. I love IGK products, I really do rate them. You will find this as I go through my product recommendations. They are the absolute best. Their products are exactly what like regular human beings need for their hair. I really feel like they've tapped into what people want on an everyday basis to do what hairdressers can do to hair, but with like much less effort. And they're vegan, like cruelty free, all of that, all of the good stuff. Just really, really rate them as a brand. So that's my shampoo and conditioner. I also do use the Bleach recovery mask, I think it's called that. I literally have like run out and I haven't used it in a while, to be fair. but when I was using purple drops for my hair, when my hair was very white, I was putting the purple drops into my hair mask and using that all over my hair, and that worked really well as well. The purple drops that I was using are the IGK purple drops. They are so great. They also do blue ones for if your hair is like darker and has like reddish tones to it that you want to neutralize, which is just genius. I've been saying ever since they made the purple drops that that needed to be a thing, and then they did it and I was like, they just know. So that is kind of like my hair wash routine. It's not really too much of a big faff. I don't do anything particularly special. The less time I spend washing my hair, quite frankly, the better, especially now that there's this much of it. After I have washed my hair, I just kind of towel dry, leave a towel wrapped around it. I'm constantly like squeezing the water out. I leave it for a really long time until I blow dry. To blow dry, I use the Dyson hairdryer. I think I was sent this. It was a very long time ago. I can't quite remember. I'm just assumed that it was gifted if in doubt. I really rate this though. If this broke, I would go out and buy it again tomorrow with my own money, no questions asked. It's fucking fab. I've had it for a really long time. It's lasting really, really well. It doesn't feel any different in like its like power from like the first day I got it. Really, really rate this so much. So yeah, I use that on my hair. What I will do when blow drying my hair is I kind of section it into three because obviously there is so much of it, and I just blow dry it straight. I use my Tangle Teezer wet brush to blow dry. I don't know if that is around here, damn it. I'll pop a picture of it on the screen. I really rate the Tangle Teezer wet brush, and especially if you have tape-in extensions, I find the Tangle Teezers are great because their bristles aren't very long, so when you're brushing your hair, for example, if I use a hairbrush like this, the bristles are quite long and I will catch my tapes in the brush, which is not ideal. Whereas with the Tangle Teezer, it glides over really well and doesn't pick up the tape at all. Goals. So yeah, I generally use that for brushing my hair on an everyday basis, but also it's really, really great when it's wet as well. So I go through in sections, blow drying my hair straight like that. Even if I'm going to curl it after, I would tend to blow dry it just because it's easier and it makes my hair a lot more smooth and sleek because, like I said, I have very coarse hair that gets quite frizzy. The extensions tend to behave in the same way as well. Like all tape-in extensions I find are, they almost match my hair in how coarse they are, so I don't, that's something to consider if you have very like sleek hair, is that the hair might not necessarily behave in the same way that your own hair does because it's not your hair. But I'm very lucky in the fact that my hair seems to behave as the tape-in extensions do. I would say this set are like less wavy when they dry than my last set. My last set literally dried the exact same way my natural hair would, which was quite good when I wanted it to all just air dry and leave it. I tend to blow dry it just because I find that's easier and it keeps everything very unified. So yeah, I'll split it into 3 sections and blow dry it on like the medium hot setting on the hairdryer, and then once I've done that I go over it again on the cold setting, and it just makes everything really smooth and really sleek and kind of locks in that shine. And before I do that, I use this, which is the TRESEMME Pro Collection Primer Protection Spray. This stuff smells incredible. I absolutely love it. It smells like what I imagine grape juice to smell like. I haven't drunk grape juice in years, so I don't know, that could be really wrong, but it smells really, really yummy. I love using that. So that's my heat protectant of choice because they don't make my L'Oreal one that Beyonce used to advertise in 2003 anymore, so beggars can't be choosers basically. I do have a few other products that I like to use when I have styled my hair. So one of the best ones that I have used is the expensive Almond Oil High Shine Top Coat by IGK. I love using this on the ends of my hair. It also works quite nicely on the top if my hair is looking a bit coarse as well. But on the ends of my hair, it really smooths everything down, makes it feel amazing. It's hard to make blonde hair shine so much, but I do find that it just makes it really, really soft and very, very manageable and makes it feel like I've had like a hairdresser blow dry on my hair, which is goals because I love how my hair feels when I've just come out of the hairdressers. I also use the Mistress Anti-Frizz Leave-In Conditioner, which is also by IGK. This is a really good one if you want like a creamy leave-in conditioner rather than a spray. If you want to be more like direct and more concentrated with where you're putting your product, I think that's a really great one to use. I also use the Rich Kid Coconut Oil Gel, which is also by IGK. I'm sorry, I'm just like a broken record, but I love their stuff. This I use for when I gel my hair back. Drugstore Gels, you can't brush your hair after it's set, like it's not moving, and if you try and brush your hair, you're gonna like rip your hair to pieces. So I tend to not use those, but it doesn't have the strength of one of those, so I tend to just use a bit of hairspray after. The hairspray that I use is the GHD Final Fix hairspray. In terms of like a leave-in conditioner that's a spray, I've been using the Kristen S Weightless Shine Leave-In Conditioner. I picked up a few Kristen S bits to try. I really like this one, and I also really like her dry shampoo, which looks like this. Yeah, I like those both a lot. I've also picked up the Signature Shampoo and Conditioner. I don't rate it so much. I do find it makes my hair quite dry. Lots of people have recommended the purple one and said that it's really not drying for a purple shampoo. I don't really need like specifically a purple shampoo anymore. I don't know, but really do like the leave-in conditioner and the dry shampoo. The dry shampoo is very, very good. And I have the greasiest hair in the world by the time it comes to hair wash day, so I would know. On that note, I also love the IGK dry shampoos. This is the jet lag one, which is the lightest one. This is the one that I have left in my box because I've used the rest of them up, because I obviously don't use the one that's for like slightly greasy hair. I use the one that's like, holy crap, that girl needs to wash her hair. That is because I like to not wash my hair so much. I think it's better for my hair just to let the natural oils through where possible. I generally tend to wash my hair once, maybe twice a week. If I can get away with it and I have literally no social commitments, I will wash my hair once a week and just kind of like slick it back as much as possible. And I've been doing that for a really, really, really long time, since I was like 19, and my hair back before I bleached it was in very, very good condition, for the fact that I used to straighten it every single day. So I kind of really hold like not washing your hair up as like the holy grail of like hair care, which some people are going to find disgusting. Zero fucks given, quite frankly. So yeah, that's kind of it for my favourite styling products. I use dry shampoo as a multi-use product, so I will also use it as a texturizing spray. The IGK ones are fucking fab for that. So if I want texture in a braid, I will use dry shampoo. If I really want more texture, I will use the IGK dirty spray. They also have a texturizing spray which is very good, but I tend to find it makes my hair a bit too dry, whereas the dirty spray is kind of like texturizing spray without the dryness, and I love that. It makes hairstyles hold really, really well. So I will like crack this out if I'm ever doing like my own hair and I want more texture. But if I'm doing my friend's hair and I want more texture, they tend to have very like silky straight hair, bitches. I'll use texturizing spray on them. Oh, and then final product, which I do actually really like, is the IGK Good Behavior. It's like a sleek spray. I really love using that just when I've got like a ponytail slick back, and it just kind of smooths like flyaways. Smells amazing. It's the best smelling hair product I've ever come across. The only other thing to note is when my hair is curly, this is the kind of brush that I use on my hair, just because it doesn't really like tug too much. I find that tugging on your hair a lot, especially like these extensions, I've really found this, if you have tape-in extensions and you tug on them a lot, they will just frizz. Like, I've never seen anything like it. My own hair doesn't behave like that so much, but I've really found it's like exaggerated with the hair extensions. So I do tend to keep one of these around for when I have like curly hair, just to brush throughout the day, and then obviously at night I like give it a proper brush through. I find if you have like any kind of curls or waves in your hair, this is really good, even if it's straight. But like if you do have curly, like naturally wavy hair, these are great. And then just in terms of styling my hair, I have a lot of hair tools that I use, so I feel like it's so much to like run through all of them. But in terms of styling my hair on an everyday basis, I will use my GHDs. If I travel, I will use my GHDs, and I tend to use them for straightening and curling and waving. As long as you've got your hand motions down, these can do pretty much anything. But the waves that I have today, I did by using the Babyliss Pro. It's like a really large barrel curling tong. It's gorgeous. I love this so much. This is the kind of like type of one that it is. I'll try and link it. If it is available, I will definitely let you guys know. It will be in the info box. Why am I fuzzy? There we go. I tend to just kind of wrap it around and always do the front bits away from my face, and then the mid sections are kind of alternated between wrapping it this way and wrapping it that way. In terms of any other tips I have, I would say not brushing your hair too much and being very gentle when you brush, like brushing from bottom to top. Having a very, very good diet I find is really important for healthy hair growth. Not washing your hair too much, not towel drying your hair at the root, so I tend to just like let the water like run down, and I always just like towel dry the ends. I try not to brush my hair when it is soaking wet. I always wait until it's like fairly dry. Always use heat protection spray. As I was saying earlier, I also use silk hair ties. I'll try and link a variety of them in the info box, because some of them are very expensive and those are really important to me to stop breakage. So like I said, I've got like top breakage from like this, literally goes straight to where my mid ponytails would sit, and I think there was a period in time last year, so this isn't like necessarily an all post blonde thing, like my hair was like this when I had dark hair and all my own hair last year, and I know it is from like my hair going into a mid ponytail in the back, and I used to sleep with my hair like that as well. I would not recommend that. So I use silk ties wherever my ponytail is, and I also sleep with my hair either in a very loose top ponytail, like literally on top of my head, and I look like an absolute dickhead, or I bring all of my hair back and loosely braid it and then use a silk hair tie at the bottom. I literally use the silk hair tie just because I find it helps stop kinking, and then it also manages frizz. Like I'd find when I took like a standard elastic out, my hair would be really like frizzy and all over the place. So it does just mean I can braid my hair overnight, take it out the next day, and it just has like a slight wave to it and absolutely no frizzing, and it just means I don't have to put more heat on my hair. Obviously the ends aren't my own hair, but I do find like it's important to take care of the hair regardless, because then it means it lasts me a longer time. It's less expensive in the long run to take care of it. Whether you have tapes or your own hair, like I really do recommend it. Don't put unnecessary pressure on your hair if you don't have to, especially at night when you're like squished against a pillow and stuff like that. And just being quite mindful of how you are treating your hair. You will find over time, if you get into a good routine with handling your hair carefully, the quality over the years to come will just improve. But yeah, it's all about making decisions every day that care for your future hair. But yeah, I think I've rambled for long enough now. That feels like the longest chat that I've ever had, and I really hope that it made sense. If you have any more questions, do pop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to like get back to you and answer your question. If there are a ton of questions that I feel like I really just haven't answered and I've done a really shit job, then I'll do a hair Q&A and just kind of update you all. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Love you, bye.